So it looks very much like Alec Baldwin could be charged, and he could be charged soon. Before I toss it to you, one other piece of color. His Instagram post this morning was pretty cryptic. Quote, "My heart has been broken 1,000 times this past year, and things in my life may never be the same. Lots of changes coming, but my family has kept me alive." So do we think he will be charged with some sort of potentially gun violation, something as bad as negligent homicide, or do we not? And what are the odds of him actually being convicted of such a charge? Mark, you want to take it first?
Yes. Okay. This is outrageous. He's an actor. I can't imagine if somebody hands him a prop that it's his obligation to look through it and make sure that it's safe. That is clearly someone else's responsibility. But what gives me pause is I think that I read that he was saying that it went off accidentally.
Yep.
Well, wait a second. If I'm his lawyer, I say, you don't need to say that.
Shut up.
You pulled the trigger, you aimed it, and you pulled it because you believed that someone whose job it was made sure it was safe.
Yeah, you are so right. Arthur, before you weigh in, here is that moment in which Alec Baldwin told George Stephanopoulos he never fired the gun that killed Helena Hutchins.
So I take the gun and I start to cock the gun. I'm not going to pull the trigger. I said, do you see that? She goes, well, just cheat it down and tilt it down a little bit like that. And I cock the gun. I go, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see that? And she says, and then I let go of the hammer of the gun and the gun goes off. I let go of the hammer of the gun goes off.
At the moment, the decisive
That was the moment the gun went off, yeah. That was the moment the gun went off.
It wasn't in the script for the trigger to be pulled.
Well, the trigger wasn't pulled. I didn't pull the trigger.
So you never pulled the trigger?
No. I would never point a gun at anyone and pull a trigger at them, never.
Well, Arthur, the experts have all come forward and said that's not possible. In fact, a recent FBI forensic report concluded this particular firearm could not have gone off unless someone pulled the trigger.
That sounds like it's logical and makes a lot of sense. I just want to back up to the request for the money. Having worked with a particular district attorney's office in their request for here in the city of New York for additional funding, they always exaggerate what they need the money for. And in New York, you're asking for millions of dollars. Here, you're asking for $600,000. But I assume that's a tremendous amount of money for a small district attorney's office. So they're going to blow out what we have all this thing and there's going to be a famous person. Of course, they want to give the idea that it's going to be an international case because let's face it, if Alec Baldwin gets arrested for homicide, any form of homicide, it's going to be an international event. And they want to have the money so that New Mexico looks good and looks very professional. So I wouldn't be shocked if arrests are made. And ultimately, after the prosecutor has secured the funding for the office, Alec Baldwin does not turn out to be a defendant in this case. Because I totally agree with Mark. It's not his responsibility. And there's anything we've learned through the coverage of this case that there were people who it was their exact responsibility to make sure it was a cold gun.
It's not that clear. Yes, there were people whose responsibility that was. However, we've had lots of actors. I think George Clooney, wasn't he one of them, came forward and said, I would never, ever handle a gun on a movie set without checking it myself. I don't care how many people tell me it's a cold gun. It's what you do.
But how does he know the difference between
it's just George Clooney. Hello.
But how does he know? How does he know which bullet is a live bullet versus a blank bullet?
And also, what value is that? So Clooney knows, the guys who handle the guns get high. Maybe Alex doesn't know that, so he just trusts. That's not criminal. Understand that to reach a level of criminality, you're talking about proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay, he was negligent. In hindsight, now he knows. You check the gun, make sure you don't trust anybody.
Okay, but wrinkle. Counselor Wrinkle. He was the producer. He was the executive producer of the whole movie. And the movie was said to be riddled with security problems, safety problems, I should say. One guy resigned in protest. They weren't running the shop well. And clearly, if the girl, the armorer, who was responsible for the guns, and she didn't hand the gun. Somebody else, the assistant director, handed him the gun, but she was in charge of guns. So here's the people that they could be looking at. The assistant director is the one who handed Alec Baldwin the gun and said, cold gun. Alec Baldwin's the one who fired the gun without checking inside. Then there's the armorer who was responsible for the guns on the set, but she's been pointing her finger at the ammunition guy, because the problem, according to the armorer, is she was given what were supposed to be blanks that were actually live rounds. And the person who gave her that ammo should have known that. And there's also a question about whether there was some sort of subterfuge on set with somebody actually messing with the gun for some reason. What are you shaking your head for?
You added the wrinkle is that he's the executive producer. Okay. And in a criminal setting, that has, to me, a little bit of relevance. But in a civil setting, it has a lot more. Then you're responsible civilly. My question is, does he even know the difference? Is he an expert? Is he supposed to open up whatever it is, look inside, and he's supposed to know whether it's a live round or not a live round? That cannot be his responsibility.
Well, especially if it was missed by the armorer, who is the gun expert. And we'll see whether their theory is she couldn't tell the difference, or she failed to check. I believe it's that she saw and she couldn't tell the difference. Go ahead, Arthur.
It's whether it rises to a crime versus a civil liability. Whether this is a thing about people forking up a whole bunch of money to her family, or should they be going to jail? And it just sounds like there were so many hands in this puzzle, in this pie or soup, whatever you want to call it. I don't think it rises to the level of criminality that any actor, Alec Baldwin, George Clooney, or some extra, has that. They have the duty, the criminal, they're bound by by the penal law to make sure that a gun
but that may not be true.
It said it's cold gun. They're told it's a cold gun.
No, but I'm backing up. Gun. Okay, I don't see right now. I don't see the criminal liability of Alec Baldwin. I agree, but I do see the civil liability through the roof, and I also see his failure to keep a safe set as a defense the others are going to use. They're going to point the finger at him and say, I was overworked. I was stretched too thin. I raised the alarm saying, I can't handle all of this. I need help. It's him. He's the one who wouldn't fork out the dough because he wanted to maintain his little house in the Hamptons and his house here and the big star, and F him because he wanted to save dough. Somebody died. That's what they'll say. But I do think that there is somebody, like, if what the armorer seems to be saying is true, if the guy who is responsible for putting the ammo on the set gave a box of live rounds that was mislabeled dummy rounds, that definitely could be criminal, no?
Yes, that's criminally. I would say you can make a strong case for criminally negligent homicide.
Yeah, we're reckless conduct, willful and wanton disregard of human life and property. I would like to hear more, but now we're getting into that kind of thing.
Samantha from Arcadia, California is raving about Genucel's transformative results. She says, I love Genucel plant stem cell therapy. I've used it all over my face, under my eyes, and it cleared up the dry flakiness and even reduced my forehead lines. Someone even asked if I had work done. Nope, just Genucel, thanks. Genucel has sold over 1 million products to women and men across the country. Fine lines, forehead wrinkles, dark spots, sagging jawline, even those annoying bags and puffiness, gone without risky procedures. And with its immediate effects product, you'll get guaranteed results in as little as 12 hours, or you'll get your money back. See the difference for yourself with over 60% off their most popular packages at Genucel.com. But it gets better. Go to Genucel.com/MK now, and they will include the brand new Genucel Hyaluronic Acid Serum as a free gift. Powerful moisturizing effects to brighten your complexion and further reduce the appearance of visible signs of aging. Plus, all orders will get free express shipping. Visit Genucel.com/MK60. That's GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.